Yeah, absolutely. I think we're very customer driven in our development approach. So a couple of things we have invested in and are now rolling out to the market, and we've seen that in our roadmap presentations. Probably the first one coming to my mind is the theme of file classification. Yeah, the area of policy which needs to be applied to classifications like secret, top secret, non-disclosure, internal and public. Those are the type of classic file classifications you have, and we had quite some customers ask us about making those or reflecting those classifications inside ownCloud. We're using tags for that, and then we apply policy on top of that and do certain things not, which means for a secret document it's impossible to create a public link ever. Yeah? Those type of innovations, and one customer who was driving us in that direction quite a bit is ZF. They're one of the largest automobile part vendors in the world, and they have more than 11,000 active users in ownCloud between Europe as well as the United States. So they're communicating over the Atlantic quite a bit through ownCloud, and they asked us to apply those type of additional functionalities for them. Yeah? Second is probably in the area of how to deploy ownCloud in large environments, how to deploy ownCloud where you have many instances of ownCloud to be run. An example there is a German state who plans to run an ownCloud for each municipality. That's the cities as an example. And they use Docker images. They use our Docker images, which ownCloud even QAs for them, and with those Docker images they are then able to just start them up, and they don't need to worry about administering ownCloud from a system administrator perspective at all, because if there is any change in the application, in the user space of the operating system, that all comes from us and runs through the many tests we have. We have unit tests as well as acceptance tests, and we have, I think, more than 2,000 unit tests in the meantime. That's like up from 600 or so last year. Yeah? So huge investment in QA, and that's now where this brings itself to the market, where we're able to bring complete solutions, ready-made Docker containers which people can just run. So GDPR has always been great for our business over the last 1.5 years on the way where people started to think about how to implement that, right? And now it of course gets even better, because one of the things people had in their mind is, oh, I can go to this telecom run Microsoft Cloud, which is located all in Germany, and I don't have to worry about data security and things like that. While the GDPR actually allows to use such services at this time, it's always some jeopardy there. Yeah? With the Cloud Act, with other things, there can be rulings at any time which shape things in the one or the other direction. So if you want to have a really riskless environment over the long term, you either need to host it yourself, or you need to host it in a European data center which is also European owned. And Microsoft had this offering through the telecom, and this has been used by quite some public organizations as well as organizations who were concerned in the secrecy of their data. And with the announcement just recently that this cloud will go away by the end of 2019 and already is not anymore available for any new customers, the demand has increased to actually use ownCloud for those type of environments. And then of course there is not only file sync and share, there is also the question of collaborative editing, collaboration around files, and that's something we offer as well together with our partners. The ownCloud conference every year really means that we can chat with each other, that we can collaborate, that we can get live input from many users as well as customers from Europe and also other countries around the globe. And this is always very valuable, right? The collaboration is very intense. Yeah? People are able to grab each other, and it's also easier than later to understand when they chat with the same person on GitHub and on central ownCloud.org, etc. Right? This collaboration gets easier. Also, the customers are able to meet our support team. So the people they've worked with mostly remote for maybe a year or whatever, or longer, yeah, they're able to meet them, ask specific questions, go through their tasks list, etc. So that's a great event every year, and with with roughly 200 attendees here, we're up about 20%, I would say, against last year, and that's great. Yeah, it's growth in the conference is great. We have a lot of people who come repeatedly, with customers who bring 3 or 4 people with them to enjoy this type of collaboration, and then also better serve their 100,000 customers or their 37,000 customers they have, like SurfNet from the Netherlands. That's what we need, and that's the type of relationship which is needed. And I think SurfNet is a great example. Last year they were here looking at different collaborative editing solutions, and they met Michael Meeks from Collabora, and they talked with each other, and since then certain features were applied which they can now use for their customers, and they are now offering Collabora for all of the people inside of the SurfNet cloud. Now we continue to strive for world domination fast, but that will take a little bit longer than a year. So I think in the next year we're gonna continue to work on ownCloud 11, have some new technical things in the storage area. I call this infinite scale. That's really the goal we have in that regard. So scale which is really infinite from a number of files perspective, from a data perspective, from a global replication perspective, to serve our multinational customers. That's probably on top of my mind, and then really continue to make the user experience even better, provide additional choices on the collaborative front, and also see what type of things we can do around groupware integration, chat integration, and those type of things.